and welcome to Health Options. I am Rabi, Abdallah. Thanks for joining us on the program. In this era of wonder drugs, hormones and synthetic compounds, it may seem an anachronism to consider therapeutics based primarily on the use of plants, vegetables, fruits and grains. Scientific evidence shows that never before has the average man and woman been better fed and so poorly nourished. The progress of civilization has led to an increasing concentration of population in cities and metropolis. Consequently, man has become divorced from nature and its rich, beautiful bounties. And what has the world got to grapple with? Numerous modern diseases taking their toll on mankind as a result of the consumption of unhealthy food and the adoption of wrong lifestyle. Let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. This famous quote, often attributed to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, coined almost 2,500 years ago, is still one of the greatest medicinal prescriptions ever offered to the human population. Now, one of the people making this maxim to be as relevant today is a renowned independent forest agricultural scientist, food and health expert, also referred to as the father of jungle farming, Dr. Kader Vali. His discovery about the immune boosting and healing properties of 5 types of millets found in India gave birth to the concept of Sridanyalu. As you know, millet is grown in the northern part of the country. Talking about Gero, Doro and the likes. Dr. Kader was a man that traveled the vast landmass of India regularly to share his success stories with various groups, hospitals, universities, etc., etc. We are privileged to have him here with us to share his millet revolution success story and beyond that. We're glad to have you on Health Options, Dr. Kader.
Thank you.
Also joining us in the studio is Bhaskar Rao. He is the General Manager, West African Ceramics Royal Brand. Good to have you in the studio too.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're quickly going to go straight to the crux of the matter now. Millet is a crop I'm used to as a child, and what I didn't know about it is, the numerous medicinal benefits, the therapeutic benefits, the immune boosting benefits that millet harbors. And we're glad that you've come, in our midst today to share all of that. Quickly, what is it about millet, and especially these 5 types of millet that you're bringing on board?
Basically, there are various kinds of millets. The distinction is very clear. We have selected 5 of these millets and worked exclusively on various modern day patients, be it diabetes, be it blood pressure, be it cancer, including autoimmune diseases. We have found very good results on all these kinds of patients. And then we have researched and figured out why these particular 5 millets are the best to heal these modern day diseases.
So what are those medicinal properties inherent in them?
Various aspects,
okay,
including the structure of the grain is imparting the healing properties, and the various nutritional values that are impregnated in these grains. And the modern day food is completely almost devoid of all these wonderful properties of these 5 grains. The most important thing of these grains is the structure of the grain, the fiber to the carbohydrate ratio. So the amount of fiber present in these wonderful grains is 8% to 12.5%. So foxtail millet has got 8% of fiber, kodo millet has got 9% of fiber, and little millet has got 9.8% of fiber, barnyard millet has got 10% of fiber, brown top millet has got 12.5% of fiber. And there are other millets like pearl millet, which is, I believe, still present in African continent.
Okay, I actually thought the little millet is
Little millet is known as African millet.
okay, so is it the same one we have
Absolutely.
in our own environment?
Very
here?
same, very
Okay,
same,
okay.
very same.
Okay.
And that is a wonderful millet which can deal with lot of issues of hormonal imbalance, especially women, present day women. I don't think there is any woman in this world now not being affected by hormonal imbalance. So it's a wonderful grain which can correct all the issues related to the hormonal imbalance. That's called little millet, and it is known as African millet. Till recently I believe you had it, and now I think you have lost the grain.
We no longer have it?
I believe so. There may be in some nook and corners of African villages.
But you think we don't have it in
I don't-
Nigeria?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious, about knowing if the one that we have here in the country, which we call gero, has the same medicinal properties. Is it as nutritious?
That's as pearl millet. Yeah, it is nutritious value in giving wonderful amount of milk for the milking mothers.
Okay.
So, but it is failing to cure or heal the modern day diseases. So, it can give you the immune system, but to boost and make your diseases go away is possible only for these 5 millets.
Okay, so that takes me to my next question. Bhaskar Rao, you are a diabetic and you've shared your story. I just want you to share it with the viewers before you took on Sildanyalo lifestyle. That's the consumption of these 5 types of millet. What was it like, and what difference did adopting Sildanyalo concept done for you?
Yeah, last year September 2018, just I saw his message in the YouTube. Then I realized what he's saying is all correct. Then I am 15 years diabetic. 15 years I am suffering this one. Then I saw first time his YouTube message. He expressed everything properly, as the nature, everything. Because as a ceramic engineer, I also know the nature, because we are taking the raw material from the nature. So that's why I realized this is the right food, because that before I am taking wrong food is the rice. I am a rice eater. That's why my diabetic cannot control. Even though I am taking more drugs also, I used to be always my HbA1c will be high. So that's why I thought I can start immediately. Then I went to the market in India. Then I buy these 5 millets. I started eating 2 days. Then after 1 week I realized this is a real food. It is my glucose level is coming down, started. Then after that I thought this is again I have to implement more, because decoctions also is mentioned. Then I started using decoctions. The decoctions means just you put in the leaves in the hot water, boil it, just cool it and drink. It's a simple decoction system. Then I started that one. After 1 month, 2 months, my HbA1 levels come down seriously. From 9 it has come to 8, 7 like that. Then I myself feeling better, because see, it is when your glucose levels is high, you will be lazy, you will be always, you will get more hungry, you want to take more food. Because the food what you are taken immediately it will consume, then you have to ask more food.
Okay.
I experienced that one. Then immediately I started that one. Then 3 months my HbA1 level is come down to 6. Then I am very happy that time.
So I had asked you earlier on, and you said something about your corporate social responsibility was what prompted you to, bring Dr. Kadar into the picture and for Nigerians to know about this.
Exactly, because as you know, Royal brand knows everybody in this Nigeria, because we are the famous brand. We are manufacturing the tiles. We ourselves introduced so many varieties of tiles, first time in Africa, first time in Nigeria. So that's why we are famous in one brand. But even though we are doing social corporate social responsibility minimum, local areas, what I thought that is only for limited to the certain people. But these health issues I see many Nigerians are suffering. My colleagues, my workers, all people who are working with me, my colleagues, they are suffering diabetic, they are suffering with the cancer, so many diseases, kidneys. Every time I hear from the people. What I thought, this we have to go to the real CSR.
Okay.
Forget about this making the churches, making the mosques. That is different. Is local taking care of.
That's quite.
I want to take Nigeria as a better country because all resources I've seen. Because I am the one went all the bushes, many areas I traveled, all Nigeria, all states, bushes inside. I find the raw material for this Nigeria. So that time I seen some plants also, but I don't know this one plants available this one. That's why I am not the right person to explain these things.
Yeah. So
Because I am engineer. So that's why I requested Dr. Kadarwali. Then he said, then he is going to come to Nigeria. I am very happy because of his tight schedule also. He's given me 4 days. And we want to mainly start with the students. That's why we went to ABU Jaria. Then there
I'll get to that. Dr. Kader, still on the millets revolution and the value, the health benefits, and which mankind should just have to embrace, because whatever you have done had been based on research. So you have your evidences and all of that. I'm interested in we're really looking at the mode of preparation, because that's the next thing people are going to be asking. Okay, it's one thing to consume food, it's another to make sure that you've prepared it in such a way that you don't get to destroy the nutrients and render it useless. So let us into that.
There is a very good question, because ultimately everyone has to eat and eat right. The procedures of cooking and consuming so that we get the healing powers of the food that we eat. As I already explained to you, that the fiber content in these grains is reasonably high, and compared to the rice and wheat that you are eating. And rice and wheat get cooked in no time. You just put it in hot water, it gets cooked. So the whole world now has got the habit of cooking in that fashion, and of late you do have all these pressure cookers and all kinds of nutritional values of the food that you eat is completely deranged. I would not say destroyed, it is deranged. It's come down and reduced. Values are different. So the high pressure cooking is not the right way to eat. So the simple techniques that our ancestors used to follow is to soak the grain. The soaking is half cooking. So the grain, which has got high fiber, gets the water into the grain.
How long is it supposed to be soaked?
6 to 7 hours.
6 to 7 hours. Okay.
Minimum, and you can even soak overnight.
Okay.
It's not a big issue at all. But then people in the world have forgotten, including your lentils, you need to soak. When you soak, you can cook them on a low flame within 10 to 15 minutes. But then if you do not soak, even rice, you are cooking in pressure cooker. And this is the worst thing that has happened to the human race. So we have lost the patience. We want everything in a zip. And that should be first learned by the human race, that our ancestors knew what they were doing. So you soak the grain, allow the fiber to absorb all the water, and then boil. That way you preserve all the nutrients in the grain, and the fiber which is soaked well gets cooked well, and then it starts its wonders in the body.
Okay. I'm curious to know just how it works in dealing or the treatment of non-communicable diseases like diabetes, and some others that you've mentioned.
Yes. And
I asked you this question because from my understanding, you're basically telling us that if one restricts himself to the Siridhanyalu concept, that you are guaranteed optimal health.
Yep.
Does it mean these grains contain all the food nutrients that the body requires?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, it contains even micronutrients. Not only the macronutrients like vitamins and salts, it also has got something called vitamin B17, even micronutrients. They all help us to be completely healthy. And wonderful thing about these 5 grains is that it's not just enough to give you the nutritious elements that we require, but the energy that we require to live is given by these grains in a slow and steady regulated fashion. And the reason why it happens is the structure of the grain, the fiber and the carbohydrate are intertwined from the center of the grain. So when we boil, after soaking, the fiber gets digested slowly and steadily, releasing the glucose into your bloodstream in a regulated fashion. And that is the essence of these grains. And because it has the regulation and release of glucose, all things go on in normal, expected and designed fashion. And just the opposite happens in the present day foods. Be it rice, be it sugar, be it Pepsi, be it Coke, all this food that we are consuming on the go, releases glucose suddenly into your bloodstream. So if you just drink a Coke or Pepsi cup of 100 ml, you are dumping into your body approximately 25 grams of glucose. But the bloodstream needs to have around 5 to 6 grams of glucose at any given point of time. So now you're just drinking Pepsi alone.
I will appreciate if you don't mention the brand name because they could sue us.
Okay, if you drink the
maybe processed drink,
the processed drinks, you could delete that. The moment you take sugary liquids, in no time your blood is flooded with the glucose, including rice. When you eat rice, in 20-30 minutes your blood gets glucose. Wheat, the same thing happens because there is absolutely no fiber in these grains. So the carbohydrate is directly digested and releasing glucose into the blood as a flood. So the confusion starts to the body parts. They do not know what to do. So they start making triglycerides, cholesterol, glycogen, meat, flesh. Instead of doing the right thing, sending the glucose into the cells and then burning it and releasing energy for our living, the other things become more important. That's how you do not get energy when you eat this. You are feeling tired, and so when you release glucose slowly and steadily, the glucose enters the cells, the carbon dioxide is released slowly and ATP is formed. Everything happens the way it is designed. That's why you feel energetic when you eat these grains over a period of time, up to 7 hours. So you eat well in the morning and you don't need any more food till evening. And that is the beauty of this grains.
Okay, is it supposed to be just the boiling method or other cooking methods can be used in the preparation of these grains?
Yeah, you could make different varieties of food materials, but whatever you do, you soak it.
Okay.
So if you make a flour of it and you want to make porridge, you don't need to soak for 7 hours. The flour you have already grinded, so the soaking time decreases. So 2 hours or 3 hours of soaking is good enough if you make a flour out of that. Okay. So we in India make different kinds of food items.
Okay, I'm equally coming to, because of the method of cooking, some might want to fry, and we know the issues surrounding oil.
Oil, yes.
Bad oil and all of that. We really moved away from the traditional methods of processing oil and all of that. So I want you to
absolutely. Oil is one of the most important ingredients for the babies to grow up, because our liver, our brain, our kidney, our spleen, all these wonderful organs are 70% made of oil material. So if you supply the wrong oils when you are feeding the baby can go dysfunctional, and that's what is happening nowadays. So we need to concentrate on how we produce the oils. So earlier days we used to use an animal, like a bull driven, and then we used to extract the oils from these oil seeds like sesame seed, Niger seed, groundnut, coconut, palm. All these natural materials contain oils, and these oils, local and regional specific, are very good for our body. Growing up, babies when they are growing up, you need this oil content in large quantities. Once you have grown up, you don't need the oil so much. You need only 3 to 4 spoons per day maximum. But while the kids are growing up, and if you supply the wrong oils, the oils present today in the plastic sachets are completely not real oils. They're all refined oils mixed with adulterated, and most of it is from animal fat. So the animal fat is absolutely not going to be right for our body. So when your kids are growing up, you need to give them wonderful vegetable oils which build up your internal organs, including the brain. So when you feed your baby animal fat, the synthesis of your brain cells itself is at stake.
So are you suggesting that we go back to the traditional methods? That,
Absolutely. That's the reason why I've come to Africa. Because you are losing all the wonderful traditional methods, falling prey to this modern procedures, modern way of doing things. You have to respect food. You have to respect the way you cook. So the kitchen should be your health giving place. Instead, people have lost respect to the kitchen, and that is where the problems have started.
Now you're here with the millet, for healthy millet concept, so to say. How do you expect Nigeria to benefit from this? What sort of collaboration should we expect? What are you bringing to the table?
We are we are here to give you the information, and we will give you the seeds that you have lost, so that you can grow yourself and then feed the Nigeria and the Africa at large. These are the wonderful grains. By cooking properly and eating them well, all the health problems will disappear in a matter of 4 to 5 years. You can make Africa disease free, along with some of the plant materials decoctions which can help you in a quick time.
Okay, what progress have we seen in that regard? You have been in the country for up to 20 years, and you said you really want Nigeria to benefit from this health concept that has to do with millet cultivation.
Yeah.
What have you been able to do so far?
Yeah, that's why now we are planning. First, we want to educate the people through Dr. Kader sir. Then after that, if they need, we can supply the seeds through proper channel, government approvals, everything. Then we will give to the who is interested to grow, because we don't want to do any business. It is not a business oriented. That's why, as you said, locally you develop, you eat, and you generate your food, you eat. That's what we want to bring the concept in this country. Because now, just recently, federal government had started promoting the rice. Instead of this same place, if you use millets, you will consume less water. The environment also is very good for environmental, this one, to use the millets, and health purpose also it is very beneficial, as you said. That's why we want to collaborate is in the area. Just only will supply the seeds whenever they need, proper channels. Then you grow yourself, you spread like your own multiplication. That's why that is the...
Yeah, we are interested in giving the information and guiding the people in the right path.
Okay.
The business models or economic models which actually are consuming nature and then devour nature.
Okay, on a final note now, we are privileged to have you here, and we know that a lot of people have this huge appetite for meat consumption.
Yes.
And something scary that you said about how the bone marrow is the cradle of immunity for man, but somehow, because of the techniques used in the breeding of animals and all of that, has made everything to be compromised.
Yes.
Can you shed light on
absolutely.
that?
In fact, I come from India.
Yes.
Non-violence, love nature, love the animals, love the plants. So we, I think, are the people from one nation who has been advocating vegetarianism, that human beings should be vegetarians, based on the concept of non-violence. And the present day, the topmost schools of research are slowly coming to the same conclusion that human beings should be vegetarians if you want to have optimal health. The reasons are very simple. Now I will tell you one simple example. Milk. What is milk? Just let me ask you the question.
Well, I know milk as a product that comes from animals and human beings for the nourishment
Yes.
of the young, maybe babies.
The mammals.
Yeah,
it
the
is
mammals.
called mammals who have the breast to feed the baby.
Yeah, to
and
lactate.
milk is the most beautiful product, which is the most unstable product too,
What makes it unstable?
because the way it is designed.
Okay.
And so the mother feeds the baby directly from the breast nipple to the mouth, and that should be the nature of milk. But then what have we done in the name of business? We are feeding the milk produced in a different animal to the human body, the cow milk, and we have introduced biotechnological innovations in the name of producing the milk in large quantities. You inject the cows with oxytocin, estrogen. So now the milk directly contains these steroids as residues. So when you feed your babies this hormone-rich milk, the body is being imbalanced. And that's what in my earlier session I told you about how we are imbalanced hormonally. So the problems start from there. And then the meat is 10 times more hormonally imbalanced if you consume directly. And so what does these steroids do? They directly go and attack your bone marrow. And bone marrow is the place where your blood is synthesized, immunity is synthesized, T cells, immunoglobulins, platelets, all things that are required to create the resistance in your body.
Yeah.
So now if you're a meat eater, you're going to fall prey to all these diseases, and that's how you have chikungunya, dengue, H1N1, H5N1, HIV.
So the basic thing is just for us to go back to nature.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
All right, and we should go back to nature indeed, because nature is beautiful.
Yes.
All right.
And non-violence is the essence of human existence.
Right.
So we need to carry the message of non-violence.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kadar, for your service to humanity. Well, you've had it all from a credible authority. Let's go back to nature. What you eat is what you become. We look healthy when we eat good food. The millet revolution is surely a way to go, if you ask me, because of its tremendous health benefits and wealth creation. Talking about health and agriculture, especially with the economic diversification drive of the federal government. And that concludes this week's episode of Health Options. You can go to our YouTube channel for the upload of these and other episodes of the program. Email us for your comments and contributions at nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi Abdallah. Many thanks for your time. Bye for now.